In these times now, distractions is an all-time high, especially in this world that we're living in, where social media is big. Everything is a distraction. You could be walking down the street. Everybody's like, this is everybody. A car could be coming 100 miles per an hour, but you'll have that person, and I'm not saying that we should really judge people, but that phone is more important than their lives. But come to say, that's their life. That's what they choose to do. Who knows? Even me, sometimes I got to get on my phone. Probably somebody thinks the same way. They observe and they put me in that same bracket where in those same people that's just on their phone. But sometimes I'll just say for myself, it's about business. About business. If I'm nobody important to talk to, I'll pull to the side and talk. Just my thing. But we live in a world, like I said, distractions, distractions, distractions. And it's really, really important to really lock in. It's really important to really see what's in front of you, opportunities, um, moments of, for example, family. Like if you got people that you care about, you love, it's really important to really see what they got going on. From what I have observed and living life, you know, it's gonna be a time where you have to go. It's time to go. You hear it, the time is to go, and it's really important to really cherish these moments. Now, me personally, I just say it's really good to stay positive. Stay positive. But where I'm going with this is a lot of people and a lot of things in this world is going to do nothing but to distract you from what's really in front of you. And you got to really, really, really cherish that. Because, like I said, you don't know when is your time to go. Before I get into the video, let me introduce myself. This is Gene, your best friend, your new best friend. I invite you guys to please like, share, and subscribe. Yeah, where I'm at right now, I'm just in the middle of doing a little job right now, working, and I'm just chilling right now. And if you see me how I look, I'm actually here in Connecticut. Just wanted to go see some family and everything, and to stop by to do something, for work. But I had a good weekend. If you're seeing this, it's gonna drop most likely on Thursday. But I just chilled with my family in Connecticut. And it was really cool, real chill. And I just left them early this morning, and it's actually like headed to afternoon, early afternoon, late morning, afternoon right now. So I'm just chilling. If you see how I look, I ain't gonna lie, I'm tired, man. Like my eyes, you see, I'm tired, bro. Like, but I had a good time. I seen them, and we had a good time. You know what I mean? But let's get back into the video. And this is one of the reasons why I'm doing this video. Of course, I make a lot of videos about, be careful be careful of people, things to be aware about, people are hating, I want to take a break from that for a little bit because it's obvious, right? And of course, I'm gonna get back into that. But from what I've experienced, like for me personally, when I make these videos about people in the family, it's just past experiences and things that I think about and I bring up. So if you're wondering, like, Gene, like, nah, I'm just chill. But from what I've observed, especially with family and friends, family going to be family. Friends are going to, people that you call friends are going to be friends. But don't let that distract you. Or social media, don't let any of that distract you from what your current reality is. Well, I would say what you got going on. We got people that, or we have things that are in front of us that we take for granted. Um, from what I've observed, especially in this world that we're living in now, I've noticed that a lot of things people will put, and will put more their intentions, I won't say intentions, they're more of their attention towards them, their life, their health. And it's really important to really stay focused, because I've noticed that the same way and the same things that you have right now can easily be taken away from you within a second. I could really come back and really reflect on how life was even before 2020, if you understand what I'm talking about, 2020. And from what I've noticed, like, things just happened so quickly, a big shift, things changed. I remember people, we used to talk, we used to have conversations. Now it's like, even genders, like male and females, like, we used to just sit there and we could have a conversation. Not saying that it still can't happen, but I've noticed that in this world that things have changed drastically. Like, people are not talking to each other like how we used to. And it's crazy, because it's like, it's really important, man, like, to really, even with family, like, you seen the difference where, like, you could just call up your cousins and it's like, yo, you know, you could just have conversations with them. Now things are just different. Now, quote me if I'm wrong, is it part of growing up? Of course, everybody grow into their own identity. You may not mix well or feel comfortable around certain people that you believe, you thought that your friends or your closest family members. But from what I've noticed is that a lot of people and a lot of things that's going on, whereas like the phone, the media, that's what they put, that's where their reality is. You have to understand, if that's you and that's what you believe, you have to think twice. Because I've noticed that a lot of people, they put all their time and energy into that, their influencers. They put their time and energy into these musicians, whatever, music, artists, and they're not who they really are. And they look up to these people. And you have priorities, you have family members that you may not know when is their time to go, or you may not know when your time is to go. And I was just having a conversation this weekend, just chilling, and it was just telling me like how, even just listening to music, that can be a distraction. Just paying attention to the wrong things, that's a distraction. But I'm just letting you know that, yo, stay focused. You got family, you got people that you love, hit them up. Don't let this world be your reality. This world that we're living in is not really true. It's not real. But, don't get me wrong. We all have people that we don't talk to no more. We all have people that, that we don't feel comfortable talking to. Because same thing. But I'm just here to let you know, this world that we're living in now is not the same how it was 5 years ago. It's a complete difference. And if you sit and believe that what's this going on, this is real, you're in big trouble. Now, I'm not judging you, but if you agree with me, comment below. You let me know. But you listen, it's really important to stay focused. If you got, even not even family, but if you got things that you want to do, things that you want to accomplish, focus on that. Focus on that. And I ain't gonna lie to you, this weekend it just took time. I just sat back and just analyzed, even with my own life, making a transition of moving where I was moving to. That was a transition right there, and that was a reality check of knowing that, okay, I went for what I went for, then what? You know what I mean? And a lot of that had to do with me sacrificing, not paying attention to the media, is really getting in tune with myself, what I really want. But I've noticed that things around me, things are changing up quickly. And like I said, Maybe it's just me getting older, right? More wiser. But like sometimes in this world that we living in, and I've been this way too, but what I've noticed now, a lot of people would rather pay attention to things that's outside of them than to pay attention to what's in them. All right. So if this video resonate with you guys, I invite you guys to please like, share, and subscribe to your best friend, best friend, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.